like a month ago, I was having a conversation with an elder. I can't even remember who it was, but they said something along the lines of like, yeah, but when Satan attacks, you have to fight back. And I felt like, ugh, fight. I'm so over fighting. And it kind of hit me like, no, Satan is my brother. Lucifer, Satan is Lucifer, right? The archangel. That's our understanding from the biblical story of the fall. But who was Lucifer at the time of the fall? Why did he tempt Eve? I think some of us may be familiar with the story that he felt jealous of God's children. Here are God's children getting all of his direct love. And here I am, I've been here all this time, and what am I getting? But how many of us can say that we have not felt that same jealousy and envy in our hearts? That we have not struggled with that same feeling of, why not me? Why don't you love me? Am I doing something wrong? Am I bad? Why don't you love me too? Why don't you give me your attention? Why can't I have your time? And to connect to that personal experience allows me to say, Lucifer, I see your pain. I see your pain. I think one of the things that we admire the most about Father Moon was his ability to embrace his enemy. This picture is one of the most powerful pictures that I've seen of somebody physically embracing the person who was responsible for sending him to a labor camp to die. And yet here he is saying, I love you, my brother. It is through, I feel so confident when I say that, it is through knowing himself, through knowing himself as the child of God, and knowing his emotions, his heart, who he is, and what he is working for, that he could do this. That it's not just, I'm gonna fight you. I like the political polarization. I'm sure all of us are feeling sick of it, right? The division, we see it everywhere. But I ask you, can you think of a time when your heart melted because someone was able to see your pain, to acknowledge your struggle? This is the power of knowing ourselves, of tapping into God's love, healing our own pain, and then being able to help others heal some of that pain too. When we can say to the other person, what you did was bad, but you are not bad. That is God's hand working to bring us all together as one family under God. Just be careful that when you say what you did was bad, it's not out of judging, okay? But that also takes some self-awareness. Otherwise, the healing power, it doesn't work. So how do we overcome doubt? We must trust ourselves. Be brave. look at the feelings that are coming up and ask ourselves, what can I learn from myself from these emotions? What can I learn about me from these emotions that are coming up? Another caveat I'd like to throw out, I think as a religious community, we have a tendency to ask why. But research has come out. I read an article in Harvard Business Review that said, too many why questions can actually bring up many negative emotions and put you in a negative space. And so the quality of great leaders is not why, it's actually what. What can I do about this situation? Because that propels you to take action instead of kind of get into a shame spiral about myself. So what can I learn about myself from these feelings? Too often we feel something inside of ourselves and then we ignore it because we don't have time, or maybe we're worried that that emotion will overtake us. But if we can take a moment to be still and look carefully at those emotions, and we can name them, we can claim back the power of those emotions. Be compassionate to yourself. Don't judge yourself. It's easy to think, I shouldn't feel this way. I shouldn't be angry. I shouldn't feel resentful. I shouldn't feel this way. And then how do I just resolve it quickly? But those emotions are trying to teach you something about yourself. That was certainly my experience in healing my struggle through my relationship with Pastor Naokimi. Those emotions, that struggle, that anger, that frustration was all there to teach me what I needed to change. Be patient with yourself the way that a true parent would be patient with their child. And be grateful. When we feel gratitude deeply, there's no room for fear. It's not always easy to connect to that feeling of true gratitude, not just like appreciation, right? But like real, like, oh, gratitude, right? So how do we do that? How do we get to that deeper emotion, that deeper place? Well, get ready, because in the next coming weeks, Pastor Naokimi is going to be delivering a new sermon series that's going to teach us about how to look back over our past year and claim our victories. We're so busy rushing through what we need to do, what we need to accomplish, and we don't take time to truly sit with what we've achieved. Each and every one of you, I promise, if you sit down to really look, you will see, oh, actually, that was like a big thing that I did. But we're so focused on the next thing, the next thing, the next thing. This, too, is actually a spiritual practice that can teach us about ourselves, but we have to make that time to do it. Next Sunday is going to be 21 days until New Year's 2023. So Pastor Naokimi is going to be elaborating on how making a claim on what we have accomplished can help connect us to that feeling of deep gratitude and really deepen our relationship with our Heavenly Parent by offering our past year, not just a reflection. So I really, really hope that you can join us for that message. And on that note, do you know anyone who might benefit from hearing about how to end their year on a strong note? Just take a minute, think about 2 people, maybe come to mind that could really benefit from hearing about this, about developing this practice, this spiritual practice. Please consider inviting them to join us next Sunday. Thank you, and let's continue to grow in the love of God and invite others to join us.
All right, let's give another hand to Nancy. Speaking on overcoming doubt. So let's just take 1 minute to yourself. We're going to do a quick reflection. Just take in everything that was just said, how that applies to your own life. Maybe identify a doubt that you have and practice the 3 things that she had laid out there: trust, compassion, and gratitude. So let's just take 1 minute for reflection.
Join me in prayer. Our beloved Heavenly Parent and our true parents, really want to thank you for sharing a message through Nancy, really sharing deeply about some of the doubts that we may hold dear in our hearts. We know and we trust that you are our parent and that you love each of us so deeply. And I pray that through the message we're able to receive some sense of clarity and hope, maybe reflection on things that may be holding us back from connecting more deeply with you. And I pray that each of us can connect with the love that does exist between you and each of us, that we can work towards really feeling that love that you have for us. So thank you again for today, and we really want to offer this time to you and pray that you can continue to be with and guide and bless all of the members here throughout the coming week. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I offer this prayer and report on behalf of everyone here in my name, Naokimi and Shukuko Shiroda of a Blessed Central family. Aju. Let's have a unison prayer. So just pray on your own, just another minute to offer up today.
you. Got you. All right, so we're now going to go into our closing songs. Can I have everyone stand up? Everyone stand up. Now is also your time to make your offering. Your offering. The boxes are right up in the front, or you can make a donation online by going to Clifton Family Church. But with that, we're going to pass it to the band who's going to be closing us with the song One Day, and I'll be joining them.
All right.
Yeah, Russ Run! Woo!
Sometimes I lay under the moon, I thank God I'm breathing, and then I pray, don't take me soon, 'cause I am here for a reason. Sometimes in my tears I drown, but I never let it get me down. So when negativity surrounds, I know someday it'll all turn around, because all my life I've been waiting for, I've been praying for the people to say that we don't want to fight no more. There'll be no more wars, and the children will play one day, one day, one day. Oh, one day, one day, one day.
It's not about win or lose, 'cause we all lose when they feed on the souls of the innocent. Blood-drenched pavement, keep on moving, but the waters stay raging. In this maze, you can lose your way. Your way, it might drive you crazy, but don't let it phase you. No way, no way. Sometimes in my tears I drown, but I never let it get me down. So when negativity surrounds, I know someday it'll all turn around, because all my life I've been waiting for, I've been praying for the people to say that we don't want to fight no more. There'll be no more wars, and the children will play one day, one day, one day. Oh, one day, one day, one day. Oh, daily soul will change, treat people the same. Stop with the violence, all with the hate. One day we'll all be free and proud to be under the same sun. Sing the songs of freedom like way-oh, 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 way-oh. All my life I've been waiting for, I've been praying for the people to say that we don't want to fight no more. There'll be no more wars, and the children will play one day, one day, one day. Oh, one day, one day, one day. One day, one day, one day. One day, one day, one day.
All right, thank you all for joining us for Sunday service. There's lunch downstairs and also fellowship downstairs as well. Thank you for joining us. You can leave by greeting our pastors and our speakers right at these doors. God bless you.
All my life I've been waiting for, I've been praying for the people to say that we don't want to fight no more. There'll be no more wars, and the children will play one day, one day, one day. Oh, one day, one day, one day. 'cause we all lose when they feed on the souls of the innocent. Blood-stretched pavement, keep on moving, but the waters stay raging. In this maze, you can lose your way. Your way, it might drive you crazy, but don't let it phase you. No way, no way. Sometimes in my tears I drown, but I never let it get me down. Hey, so when negativity surrounds, I know someday it'll all turn around, because all my life I've been waiting for, I've been praying for the people to say that we don't wanna fight no more. There'll be no more wars, and the children will play one day, one day, one day. Oh, one day, one day, one day. Oh,
Then this all will change, treat people the same.
stop with the violence, down with the hate.
One day we'll all be free and proud to be.
Under the same sun, singing songs of freedom like way oh, way oh, 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 way oh, way oh, oh, oh.
All my life I've been waiting for, I've been praying for the people to say
That we don't wanna fight no more. There'll be no more wars, and the children will play one day, one day, one day. Oh, one day, one day, one day. Oh, one day, one day, one day. Oh, one day, one day, one day. Enjoy your week, everyone!
Great. Nice. Great. Good job. Oh, yeah, it's so nice to play.